All right, so we are looking at another real world example in terms of circle graphs. And so we have Tanya surveyed her classmates about their favorite school sport. She made a circle graph to show the results. The central angle for the section of the graph that represents the softball measures 72 degrees. If 30 classmates chose softball as their favorite sport, how many classmates did Tanya survey? So in this example, what we're doing is we're looking at a circle graph, and we know that there's a center. And when we talk about a central angle or the center angle, what we're talking about is going to the center and they're making an angle from that point. Okay, so we know it's going to be about 72 degrees. And if we were talking about 72 degrees, it would look like it would be about maybe right here. So it would be somewhere around here, right? That would be like a 72-degree angle. I know it's off a little bit, but 72 degrees is here. And this represents 30 classmates. Okay. And so we want to know how many in total do we have for the entire circle. Remember, 360 degrees represents the entire circle. Okay. So the total is going to be 360 within that circle. So what we're going to do is set it up as a proportional relationship like we've seen in the past. It is still going to be a part to whole comparison. And on one side, we're going to talk about the numbers, and the other side, we're going to talk about it in terms of degrees. Okay. And so, what do we have from the story in terms of the numbers? Well, it said 30 students, 30 classmates chose softball as their favorite. Well, that tells me that's the part, not the whole. So, we know that there's 30 here. And then what else do they give us? They also tell us about 72 degrees for the measure. So again, that's the part, that's 72 degrees. So we're missing one more piece of information in order for us to solve this. Well, we don't know the whole number of students that was surveyed. That's the whole reason the problem exists. But we do know the degrees for a whole circle, which is 360 degrees. So we have it set up, and now you can use whichever method you like for you to go on and solve it. So I'm going to go through all three methods just to make sure that you remember that there are different options for you to solve it. So the first way that you could solve it is using the swing method. So under the swing method, you're going to have your part to whole comparison. We have our 30 here, our X here, 72 here, and 360 here. All right, and so under the swing method, we're going to start with either the numerator or denominator where we have both pieces of information. We're going to start with our larger number and work towards the smaller number. Okay, and so because we are doing that, we're going to use division. So 72 divided by 30 will give me that missing number that needs to go in here. So 72 divided by 30 gives me 2.4. So 2.4. Okay. And so remember what we do at the top, we do at the bottom if we are going in the same direction. To determine which direction you need to go, you need to start with what you know and work towards what you don't know. So we're going to start here and work that way. So we are going in the same direction, right to left, right to left. So I'm going to use the same operation. And of course, you're going to keep the quantity the same as well. So we're going to say 360. 360 divided by 2.4. That gives me 150. So X is equal to 150 students. So that's our answer. So if you like the swing method, that is how you would solve it. If you like the cross multiplication method, so we'll say cross multiply. Under the cross multiply method, what you're going to do is set it up as a part to whole comparison. And we have our 30, our X, our 72, our 360. Under cross multiply, remember you're going to multiply the diagonals. So on one side, we have 30 times 360. On the opposite side, you have X times 72, okay, or 72 times X. All right, so that's what it looks like. And so now what I'm going to do is simplify it. So we have 30 times 360, which is 10,800 is going to be equal to X times 72. Remember, we usually put the coefficient first. So I'm going to just switch it around. So it's going to look like 72X. Okay. I noticed that the variable is not isolated because we are multiplying. So I just need to use the inverse of multiplication, which is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 72. All right, so we have 10,080 divided by 72. That gives me 150 is equal to 72 divided by 72 gives me 1x, right? So that means that x is equal to 150, and that is how you would solve it if you were using cross multiplication. Now, if you choose to solve it using the fish method, I'm going to show you that way. So the fish method, remember there's 3 steps. So I'm first going to write out my formula. It's a part to whole comparison. We have our 30x 72 360. Okay. All right. So under the fish method, remember there's 3 stops. You need to start on the side that has the missing piece of information. You're going to start with what you know. You're going to cross multiply. You're going to divide, and then you're going to give me the answer. Okay. All right. So our first stop is going to be here. Second stop is here. Your third stop is where your answer will be. Okay. All right. So we are going to remember that there's 3 steps. So we're going to multiply. We're going to divide, and then you're going to give me the answer. So those are our 3 steps. So first, what do we start with? Well, we started at the 30. We're multiplying, so we're going to multiply that by 360. So if we multiply 30 times 360, that is going to be equal to 10,800. You're going to take that 10,800 and start with that before you do your division. So we're going to do 10,800 divided by what was stop 2. Stop 2 was 72. So we're going to divide by 72. So if we divide that by 72, we get 150. Now your final stop is take that number, plug it on line 3 for the answer, and the only thing that's missing is what is the unit. So 150 what, students? Total. All right, so there is our answer.